We are now at virtual tour stop 2. We've only moved a couple hundred yards away from virtual tour stop 1, but the reason I've picked this spot is because I can use this modern road called Green Acres Lane to help you see the terrain a little bit better. Because remember, this would have been one giant open farm field at the time of the battle, and what you're seeing is the kind of terrain that the British have to advance over. Essentially, where we are standing is where the 71st Highlanders would have proceeded over an open field, and 400 yards behind me is where the American Army is waiting behind one of those snake rail fences. Greene is employing a strategy similar to what Daniel Morgan used at the Battle of Cowpens. Using a defense in depth, the militia are being deployed in two separate lines ahead of a third and final defensive line made of Continental soldiers. The militia's job will be to inflict casualties and disrupt British cohesion. The intent is that by the time the British reach the third line, they should be so badly disrupted and worn down that the Continentals will be able to shatter them. The first line of the American Army is 400 yards east of this position, and with its center anchored behind the rail fences of the Hoskins farm fields. 1,100 North Carolina militia under John Butler and Thomas Eaton wait with instructions to fire on the British twice before they fall back. Holding the north end of the line are light infantry and riflemen, supported by cavalry of William Washington, and holding the south end of the line are light infantry and riflemen, supported by light horse Harry Lee. The second line of the American Army are another 400 yards east of the North Carolinians. 1,200 Virginia militia under Edward Stevens and Robert Lawson wait in the dense woods to fight as long as they practically can. Finally, a full mile east of where we are standing, the 3rd American line stands near the Guilford Courthouse itself. There, it will serve as the wall that the British attack will hopefully smash itself upon. 1,600 Continentals, Marylanders under Colonel Otho Holland Williams, and Virginians under General Isaac Huger are the main effort in Greene's plan to lure in and break the British Army. The American Army has 4 6-pounder cannons at this battle. 2 are stationed in the center of the American first line at the beginning of the battle. The other 2 are stationed in the center of the American third line. Now, deployed all around where we are is the British Army. To our south, we would have had the Hessian Regiment von Bose. To our north, in the field with us, is the 71st Highlanders. North of the road, in the other field, would have been the 23rd Royal Welsh Fusiliers, and beyond them is the 33rd Regiment of Foot. In reserve, we have Tarleton's Legion of Cavalry, along with the Brigade of Guards, led by Charles O'Hara. In total, the British Army is about 1,900 men strong here. In addition to the infantry and cavalry, the British also have 4 6-pound cannons, as well as 2 3-pounder cannons, sometimes called grasshoppers. Around 12:30, the British are formed up and ready to attack. For the last half hour, the American and British artillery have been firing at each other as the British deployed in the woods to the west of the Hoskins farm. The British don't know the actual strength of the American army that waits for them, and in fact, they think that the American army is 7,000 strong, not 4,400 strong. So it is about 12:30 on March 15, 1781, and the 1,900 men of the British Army are now deployed in this area, getting ready to march 400 yards behind us to attack what they think is 7,000 Americans. Now, the reason Cornwallis is going to go ahead and fight against what he thinks are 3-to-1 odds, and remember, it's actually 2-to-1 odds, there are 4,400 Americans, is because Cornwallis needs a desperate result. He needs to knock out that American army and have something to show for this long, arduous campaign. But he's also attacking because he has no reason to believe he won't succeed. Throughout his entire experience in this war, he simply marched right up to the Americans, fired a couple times, charged with the bayonet, and the cowards just ran away. So why shouldn't he expect that same tactic to work yet again here? Just back in August of 1780, he had a huge victory at Camden by doing pretty much the same thing. So as the British go on to the attack on this day of battle, they're hoping for yet another sweeping victory to finally have something to show for the months of chasing the Americans around. But at our next tour stop, we're going to talk about how Greene's strategy already begins to work in slowing down the British, wearing down the British, and ruining their cohesion.